Hello and welcome to this very active vinyasa flow. Thank you for joining me. So let's begin on all fours. Line your knees up so that they're under your hips and your shoulders over your wrists. And we'll just begin with some cat-cow stretches. Inhaling, lifting your tailbone up and your chest forward to the front of your mat. And then when you exhale, tuck your tailbone and your chin toward each other. Again, inhale, lifting up into cow pose. Exhale, tuck the tailbone. And we'll do this for a few rounds at your own pace, breathing in deeply, lifting your chest forward. And when you exhale, reaching your shoulder blades forward to the front of your mat and pulling your spine up towards the ceiling. Start to make big circles with your spine, reaching your right side to the right side of your mat, then dropping your chest to the ground, and then reaching your left side to the left side of the mat, and then up into cat pose, jumping rope around this center line where your spine would be if you were at rest. And then reverse. And then come back to stillness at center and tabletop, and take a deep breath here. Open your knees super wide, so as wide as your mat, and then sink your hips back and come into child's pose. And we'll take deep breaths here since this is a resting pose. We want to focus on expanding our chest as we inhale, filling that space between your body and the ground. And then as you exhale, letting it all out and melting deeper into the pose. Take a few deep breaths here like that. On your next inhale, come back to all fours and get everything lined up. Your knees under your hips and your shoulders over your wrists. Take a deep breath in, reaching your right arm up towards the ceiling and lifting your gaze to look at your fingertips. And then when you exhale, bring your right arm underneath over to the left side of the mat, and then drop your shoulder and your ear to the floor. Take a few deep breaths here. And then release, coming back to all fours. And we'll do the same on the other side. A deep breath in, reaching your left arm up, turning your gaze towards your fingertips. And then exhale, reaching your left arm under your body towards the right side of the mat, resting your ear and your shoulder on the mat. And take a few deep breaths here. And release, coming back into tabletop. Take a deep breath in and let it all out. Okay, now on your next inhale in, lift your right arm forward to the front of the mat with your palm facing inward. And then exhale, lifting your left leg back, straight back. Breathe deeply here. Every time you inhale, reaching to either end with your arm and foot. And when you exhale, lifting your hips, broadening your shoulders, and finding stillness in this posture. Breathe deeply. And on your next exhale, bring your elbow and your knee together under your body. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, elbow and knee together under your body. And do this on your own for a few rounds. On your next exhale, come to tabletop. Take a deep breath. Now we'll do the same on the other side. So on your next inhale, lift your left arm up, palm facing inward. Exhale, lift your right foot back. Take some deep breaths here on the inhalation, reaching with both your arm and your foot away from each other. And then as you exhale, settling into this posture, lifting your chest to the front of the mat, pointing both hip joints toward the ground. On your next exhale, bring your elbow and your knee together under your body. Inhale, lifting up and out. Exhale, elbow and knee together under your body. Do this on your own for a few rounds. And come back to center. In tabletop position, take a deep breath in and release. Now drop your elbows to the ground and place your palms facing down, and you can drop your head here. And this is puppy pose, and this is a nice stretch. If you would like a little bit deeper, you can put your hands together in prayer pose behind your shoulders or where your shoulder blades meet. And if you would like an even deeper stretch, you can take blocks and put them underneath your elbows, and then allow your face to fall even further into a slight back bend. And we'll take some deep breaths here. And release. Whatever variation you were in, come back to tabletop position and find a neutral, comfortable spine, and just breathe normally here for a couple of breaths. Settling into stillness before we begin our sun salutations. So inhale, lifting your chest to the front of the mat. And when you exhale, tuck your toes and lift your hips to the ceiling, pushing back into downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet here a little bit, waking up the backs of your legs and moving your hips in a really exaggerated way, opening your body to the side of your mat as you pedal. And then find stillness wherever is comfortable to you. Take a deep breath in, opening your chest towards the mat below you, and then exhale, lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. You can take a deep bend in your knees here and really just use your hips as leverage to stretch out your spine, pulling it away from the top of your head. Let your head dangle and relax. Maybe sway your hips back and forth like I am. Breathe deeply. And again, finding stillness here. Now take a deep breath in and lift your right leg straight up and back as much as you can with both hip joints facing down. Bend your leg, your right leg, and then open your hips up to the right side of your mat. Take a few deep breaths here and really feel the stretch. Feel this stretch. You can move your right leg around in circles a little bit. You can flip your dog completely and place your right foot on the ground to your right and then reach your right arm up and over like I am. Wherever you are, come back to downward facing dog with your right foot planted on the right side of your left foot. Take a deep breath in and exhale, getting a little bit deeper into this posture. Now let's do the same on the other side. Take a deep breath in, lift your leg straight back, your left leg straight back and up. And exhale, bending your left leg and opening your hips to the left side of your mat. Take a deep breath here. If you'd like to place your left foot down on the ground behind you, go ahead and do that now. Whee. Reach over the top with your left arm, pushing your hips up towards the ceiling. Whatever variation you're in, release and come back to downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath here. Walk, step, or jump to the front of the mat with both of your feet side by side and your hands touching the ground. Take a deep breath in, opening your chest to the front of the mat, and then exhale, forward fold, pulling your stomach towards your thighs. And hang here for a little bit. You can bend your knees a lot so that way your abdomen comes to your thighs. And just again, let gravity pull on your spine and create space there. Allow blood flow while we move through the postures. And slowly, one vertebra at a time, roll up to standing. Slowly, slowly. Let your head be the very last thing to come up. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest upward. And exhale your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Open your palms to the front of the mat and push your hips forward slightly. And breathe deeply here, remaining engaged and focused on the posture. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, push your hips forward slightly, and then exhale, forward fold all the way down to the mat. Inhale, lifting your chest forward, step your right foot back, square the hips so that they're both facing down, and then exhale, stepping into plank pose, both feet at the back of the mat. Inhale, drop your knees, chest, and chin to the floor. And then exhale here. Inhale, lifting your chest forward, dropping your hips to the ground. And then exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right foot to the front of the mat, squaring your hips downward and forward. Exhale, step your left foot to the front of the mat and forward fold. Inhale all the way up, sweeping your arms up overhead and slightly behind you. And exhale your hands together at heart center. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest. Exhale, shoulder blades together and down your spine. Breathe slowly. And now for the other side. Inhale, lifting your hands up overhead, pushing your hips forward slightly. Exhale, forward fold, hands all the way to the ground. Inhale, chest forward, left foot back, squaring the hips. Exhale, step back into plank, both feet at the back of the mat. Inhale, drop your knees, chest and chin to the ground. Exhale here. Inhale, lifting your chest forward, dropping your hips. Exhale, pushing back into downward facing dog. Inhale, step your left foot forward, squaring your hips. Exhale, step your right foot forward and bend into forward fold. Inhale, sweep your hands all the way up to the ceiling, pushing your hips forward slightly. Exhale, bringing your palms together at heart center. Take a few deep breaths here. Now step your left foot back to the back of the mat and turn your body to the side with your toes facing the corners of your mat. Square your hip joints so that they're both facing forward and take a deep breath in, lifting your chest up. Exhale your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Take slow deep breaths here, pushing your hips forward slightly so that your spine is stacked up in a relatively straight line. Take a deep breath in, lifting your hands so that they're over your feet. And exhale again, shoulder blades together and down your spine. Inhale, bring your right arm in front of you, bending it, and then your palm facing the left side. And then bring your left arm over it, also bent, and then try to get your palms together in front of your face. Take a deep breath in, filling your chest so much that it pulls forward to the front of your mat. And then exhale, sinking into this wide squat position. Bend your knees and sink your hips down. Take a deep breath in, lift your chest upward, pulling your elbows in front of you. And exhale, sink your hips a little bit deeper. Take some deep breaths here. Always staying engaged, lifting your chest upward, pulling your shoulder blades together. On your next inhale, lift your chest and turn your body to the right, turning both of your feet facing to the right side to the front of your mat. And when you exhale, sink deeper so that your knee is over your ankle. Breathe deeply here for a few moments. And release, coming back to center with straight legs. Release your arms, shake them out a little bit. Okay. And now I'll do the same on the other side. So take a deep breath in, lifting your arms to the sides where your hands are over your feet. And exhale, pulling your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Inhale, bring your left arm in front of you, arm bent, palm facing to the right. And exhale, bringing right arm over your left arm. And then bring your palms together in front of your head. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest forward. And as you exhale, bend your knees and sink your hips down. Take a few deep breaths here. Try pulling your knees to the back of your mat. And when you lift your chest, pull your shoulder blades together behind you. On your next inhale, turn your body to the left and your toes facing to the and your toes facing to the left as well. Take a deep breath in, lifting up, and exhale, sink your hips so that your knee is over your ankle, both hip joints facing forward. Breathe here deeply for a few moments. Release, coming back to center. Release your arms and shake it out a little bit. Take a deep breath in and exhale everything out. Now come back to the front of the mat. Step your left foot forward to meet your right. Take a deep breath in, sweeping your hands up overhead, lifting your chest, and exhale, hands to heart center. Take another deep breath in, sweeping your hands overhead. Exhale, forward fold, bringing your hands to the ground, pulling your abdomen in towards your legs. Inhale, flat back, either putting your hands on your shins or using a block on the ground. And exhale, coming back into plank, stepping both feet back. And now, slowly lower yourself to the ground, keeping your elbows tucked in and trying to be in a straight line. Before you get to the ground, lift your chest up and pull your hips forward without dropping your legs to the ground. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest forward. Exhale, untucking your toes. Hold here for a moment. Breathe deeply, maybe sway back and forth. Drop your knees to the ground, and then drop your left hip to the left side of you. Lift your hips up and drop your right hip to the right side of you. And do this at your own pace, taking a complete inhalation to move to the other side, and then a complete exhalation to move back. Come back to center, and then push back into child's pose, spreading your knees wide, sinking your hips back and resting your forehead on the ground. Breathe deeply here, with each inhalation filling your chest up so much that it comes closer to the floor, and then exhale, sinking your body deep between your legs. If it's hard for you to get in this posture, you can put a block under your seat or under your forehead. Inhale, come up to all fours, and then scoot your knees together and in towards the center of the mat. Sink your hips back to sit on your feet, and we'll take a deep breath here in thunderbolt pose, getting ready for our back bend. Take a deep breath in, lifting the chest forward and up. Exhale, shoulder blades together and down the spine. You know the drill. Inhale, lift your hips up so that they are over your knees. And then exhale, again, pulling your shoulder blades together and down your spine. Now, for this back bend, you will want to move slowly and at your own pace. And we can start here with our hands, our palms on our lower backs, fingertips facing downward. And tuck your elbows inward so that they're reaching for each other behind your back. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest forward, and then exhale, slowly drop your head back as far as is comfortable for you to hold it for a few deep breaths. And this could be your back bend, and you could stop there. If you want to go further, then you will inhale to expand your chest upward, and then exhale, dropping your head further back. And you basically do that little by little until you find the back bend that works for you. So I will just walk you all the way through to as far as I go, and stop where you want to. Take a deep breath in, lift your chest up. Exhale, drop your head back further. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, reach your hands back for your heels. You might need to spread your knees a little bit like me. And I'm going to slowly walk myself back into that. You want to be very careful in this posture. Inhale, opening your chest. Exhale, pushing your hips forward. Slowly release, walking your hands up, holding your chin towards your chest, and then sink your hips to your ankles and walk your hands forward on the ground, coming into child's pose. Breathe calmly here for a few breaths. And release, push yourself up with your hands, coming back into upright thunderbolt pose with your knees together and your feet under your seat. And we're just going to gently stretch the neck. That was a bit intense of a back bend, so we don't want to do it too much because it could really make us sore the next day. So I like these gentle stretches. It's just find where it just starts to feel good and don't push past that. So take a deep breath in and lift your left hand up and over until you are touching your right ear. And then exhale, pushing your chest forward. Inhale, reach your right arm down and back. And then exhale, push your chest forward again. Now move your right arm and wrist in figure eights or circles or whatever. Just play around with it and see what parts of your right arm or shoulder or neck feel good. And release, putting your right hand on your thigh, face down, slowly bringing your head back to center. Okay, let's do the same on the other side. Lift your right arm up, over, tucking your right arm or your right fingertips on your left ear, and gently pull your neck or gently pull your head to the right. Not very much, just to kind of open up the left side of your shoulder. And reach your left hand back behind you and start making figure eights or circles or some kind of motion to feel all the spots that could use a little bit of a stretch. And slowly release, placing your palms face down on your thighs. Now let's put our feet in front of us and straighten our legs. And we'll take a deep breath in, lifting the chest forward to the front of the mat. And exhale, walk your hands forward as far as you can and pull your abdomen towards your thighs with your core. You don't need to pull on your legs so much. Just use your core to go down as far as you can. And breathe deeply here, holding yourself in the stretch with your core. And now reaching forward again as far as you can. Use your legs to pull yourself forward to get a deeper stretch. Breathing slowly and deeply so that your body doesn't go into a panic. It just calmly relaxes the muscles in this stretch. Open your chest towards your feet if you can. We do want a curve in the spine, or at least I do, because it feels really good in my lower back. But I don't want to collapse myself and make myself in this really tense posture. I want my body to relax and feel okay to stretch in this posture. And release, coming back upright. Now bend your left leg and bring your left heel towards your right hip. And then bend your right leg and stack it on top and make your shins parallel. Find what's comfortable for you and your hips. If it doesn't feel totally good like this, then you can put both of your legs on the ground. If it feels better for your feet to be beyond your knees, I know that a lot of people recommend that, but for some bodies that just doesn't work. So like this is extremely painful for me, so I don't like to do it too much. My hips don't seem to work that way, so I have very long legs. So find what works for you. Your legs are parallel, and then slowly walk your hands forward and find the stretch for you. We're not overdoing it. We're just kind of showing our hips a good time in a new posture that we don't do normally. You can drop your elbows if that's comfortable for you. You can use a block to put your elbows on and just rest here. I've just stacked 2 blocks and I have my elbows on it, just so I can comfortably, again, let my body relax into this rather than panic, because it's actually a very deep stretch. And release, moving the blocks for now. And now bring your right foot over to your left hip, still on top, and your left foot all the way to your right hip. And then try to bring your knees so that they're stacked directly on top of each other. Find whatever is possible for you in this setup. And then if this is enough of a stretch for you, take a deep breath in here, lifting your chest. Exhale, shoulder blades together and down your spine. But you can walk your hands forward and find what feels good for you, and then take a few deep breaths there. Again, using your blocks if you need to just make it a somewhat relaxing posture. And release, move your blocks to the side. Now take your right sole of your foot, place it on the ground as flat as you can, and take a deep breath in, lifting your chest forward, and exhale, pulling your knee, your right knee into your chest. You can use your arm to do this. You can use your hands. You can use a strap and wrap it around you. And then we'll twist over the right, reaching our right hand back, using our right hand to pull against the ground and our left hand to pull our knee. Every inhalation, lifting your chest upward so you're not crunching your spine. Exhale, turning a little bit more to the right if you can. If this is really difficult for you to get your knee into your chest, you can move your right foot forward a little bit. And release, coming back to center, straightening your legs in front of you. Shake them out a little bit. And let's do the other side. Bending your legs with your left leg on top. Having your shins parallel in front of you in a safe way that feels good for your body. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest up and forward. Exhale, walk your hands forward and find this nice stretch for you. Using your blocks if you need to. And release, move your blocks aside. And now bring your feet, your right foot over to your left hip and your left foot over to your right hip. Stack your knees on top of each other. Take a deep breath in with your hands on your knees. And then exhale, shoulder blades together and down your spine. If this is good for you, my left hip is screaming. then you could stay here. But if you want to, you can walk your hands forward and find a little bit of a deeper stretch for you. I'm going to see if I can do this on these blocks. That's pretty tight. I've been hiking, so. Holy moly. And release, moving your blocks aside. Now take your left sole of your foot and put it flat on the ground. You can move it up towards your knee to allow you to bring your knee in closer. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest forward and up, and then exhale. Grab your knee either with your hand or your elbow and twist, pulling your knee in towards your chest and reaching back with your left hand. Every inhalation, you're lifting your chest up, and every exhalation, you're twisting slightly further if you can. And release, coming back to center. Now bring the soles of your feet together in front of you and bring them as close to the center of your body as you can. And if your knees cannot reach the ground, then you can put blocks under them. Take your hands and wrap them around your toes and scoot your feet in a little bit more as much as you can. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest upward, and then exhale, using your hands to pull yourself down towards the ground. Find as far as you can go comfortably. Same concept here. You can use the blocks to just sort of rest here. You can walk your hands forward and try to do a forward fold if that feels good, or even put your forehead on the blocks in front of you. Whatever feels good for you. Breathe deeply in that spot. And release. Move your blocks aside. Release your feet to the front and straighten your legs and come back onto your back. Now from here, bring your right knee towards your chest and hug it in, straightening your left leg out, using your left hand to push your left hip down towards the ground as you pull your right hip towards your right armpit. Now, if you can wrap both arms around your knee or just use your hands around your knee and pull it in closer. Using your right hand on your right knee, open your leg up to the right side and drop it as much as you can to the ground. Using your left hand to push your left hip into the ground. And breathe deeply here. Inhale, bringing your knee back towards your chest, and then exhale, using your left hand, grab your right knee and bring it to your left side all the way down to the ground. Reach your right arm behind you to the right and turn your gaze to look at your right fingertips. If your right knee cannot touch the ground, you can put a block underneath. You can also put a pillow under your right shoulder to allow you to just melt into this posture. Breathe slowly and deeply here. With each exhalation, trying to just relax even more into it, releasing any tension anywhere. If you feel really stressed out trying to hold this posture, then grab a block and a pillow and start finding ways to support your body so you can relax into it. And release, coming back to center. Bring your knee towards your chest and then extend it all the way out so it's straight. Now take a deep breath in and pull your left knee into your chest. Same thing, using your hands or wrapping your arms all the way around it. And then you can use your right hand to push your right hip down and just find this deep stretch. Take a deep breath. Using your left hand on your left knee, drop it over to the left side of your body, trying to get as flat to the ground as you can. Of course, that's nearly impossible. It's a very small percentage of people that can do it. And then reach your right arm out to the right side of you. You can use your right hand to push your right hip down if you need to. Inhale, lifting your knee up towards your chest, and then exhale, grab your knee with your right hand and drop it over to your right side. Ooh. Reach over to the left with your left hand and turn your gaze towards your left fingers. And relax here, again, using props if you need to, just so that way you can release into this posture instead of holding yourself tensely in it. And release, coming back to center. Pull your left knee into your chest and then bring your right knee up to meet it. Straighten out your spine a little bit so you're not all wonky. And then you can use your hands on your knees to pull them into your chest or wrap your arms around your knees completely. But take a deep breath in, filling your chest so that it goes between your legs. And then as you exhale, press your entire spine into the floor, even your shoulder blades and tailbone. Breathe deeply here. It took me, and release. Now grab your knees with your hands and open your legs wide, like as if you were in malasana or squatting pose. And then just kind of move them around, maybe in figure eights. Like you're just moving your hip joints around in their sockets. It feels like an internal massage. It's really great. If you were going in one direction, switch it up every once in a while. You can make big circles with your knees. That feels really nice. Pull your knees into your chest one more time, giving them a big squeeze. Deep breath in. And exhale, releasing your feet forward to the corners of your mat so that you have a wide-legged stance. Shuffle your shoulder blades together and give yourself a nice resting spot on your back. Drop your hands to the sides, palms facing up. And we are in Shavasana, the final resting pose. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest towards the ceiling. And then exhale, melt, and just completely release every single muscle in your body as far as you can help it. Even your face muscles around your eyes and your mouth, your jaw, release it all. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Make circles with your feet and hands. And then turn onto your side and come into the fetal position. We'll rest here for a few breaths. Using your top arm, push yourself up into a seated position, bringing your feet towards your body and finding a comfortable spot to sit upright, hands on your knees. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest upward. Exhale, shoulder blades together and down your spine. One more. Inhale, lifting your hands overhead this time, reaching all the way up. And exhale, palms together, bringing them down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked this class, then give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time.